was looking for some trouble, you were looking alright. Every time you said a word, I was staring at your lips. I don't think I've ever been so close to a love like this. I never met someone like you. I never felt this way, ooh. We love, I'll take potions. We love, I'll cross oceans. All the heart and the brain, you can take it all away. We love, I'll take potions. Sipping on a little something, I've been sipping too much. I just pour myself a double and I'm thinking about us. Every time I see your face, I think of what I lost. How could all the little moments that we had be so far gone? I never met someone like you. I never felt this way, ooh. We love, I'll take potions. We love, I'll cross oceans. All the heart and the brain, you can take it all away. We love, ooh, I'll take potions.
Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. How are we all doing? It is Wednesday, November 26th, 2025, last Wednesday of the month, which means it is a free-for-all Q&A. Viewers take over, I guess as Brian would say on Without Parole. A chance for you guys to just basically run the show when it comes to questions, topics, anything you want to talk about. For anyone who is not familiar with this particular live stream, because I know there are a lot of new people that subscribed this past week. Massive thank you to all of you. I'm Myles, and every Wednesday on Myles Dyer Live, because I couldn't think of a better name, we just hang out and we talk about all sorts. And every week is a particular topic. Sometimes we talk about world events or issues people are going through, and then other times we get a bit more silly. Sometimes talk about pop culture, movies we've seen, games, yes, even VR, but also have discussions on the best ice cream flavour and things like that. But it's just a cool time for us all to get together, chill, relax. But yeah, as I said already, because it is the last Wednesday of the month, there is no script or plan. I just let you guys get on with it and decide what you want to talk about. So, massive hello to everyone in the chat. Hope you're all doing well. Hello. Let's just see who's there. And to be honest, for those that are not familiar, if you do have a question, just put it in the chat. Q at the beginning, just so I know it's a question that you want to ask me, and then I'll save it for later because we'll just talk about all sorts and I won't lose it. Hey, Eric, how you doing, dude? WTF to you too, whatever that is. Another live. I thought we were drinking. Dude, we can have a drink later. Right now, I'm having some tea. Decaf as well, so the least hardcore of the teas. But we can have a drink later, although I have to see what I've actually got. It might just be more tea on my part. But how is everyone doing? Just want to say a massive hello to everyone in the chat. We have got Dominic Maguire. Hello. See, it tells me actually not your usernames anymore, so I'm just going with your handles. We've got Chrome Colossus, though. I know that. Who says, I'm busy making a vegan lasagna for Turkey Day tomorrow with fam. You should be my audio backdrop. It is hereby decreed. I like that. Vegan lasagna. So what is that? What goes in a? Is that? I'm gonna completely butcher this, but is it fake meat? Is it like pea protein, or is it just like really filling veggies like aubergines and all that and peppers? Is it that kind of thing? Sounds good. But then what do you use for the cheese as well? And I'm not one of those people that like, vegan cheese. There is some really good vegan cheese. There's a place I've not been to in London for a very, very long time, which is called the Temple of Satan, because they use seitan in their food. And it's one of the best mac and cheeses I've ever had. And it's completely vegan. Really, really good. Hello, She Beast. Hello to you. Hello, Canuck Tunes. You guys are all late with Thanksgiving. Yeah, Thanksgiving tomorrow in the US. Most of my team and company are off tomorrow, and I think off Friday as well. In the UK, we don't celebrate it. And to be honest, the way I'm making the most of it is I'm going to be able to work tomorrow without any meetings. So I'm actually going to be able to get a lot of work done uninterrupted that I've been wanting to get done for quite a while. But many of you will know it's been pretty insane for me and my team. Everyone across Impact Reality and Flat to VR Studios. Today marks 1 year since the launch of our very first game at Flat to VR Studios, which was Trombone Champ Unflattened. You know that one, guys? With the trombone, but funnier sounds than that. That came out a year ago today. And it's wild to think that that was the game that I knew was being developed when I first joined. And I was really excited about it. And then when it launched, it felt like a real full circle. But then since then, everything we've worked on has been wild. I mean, just in the last month alone, we've done PSVR 2 Day, which was a huge undertaking. And we've launched 3 games. One game was meant to come out yesterday, Shadowgate VR, but that's been delayed. And to be honest, that's good. Let's give some time for people to play the other games before that one comes out. Whack to you. Who else we got in the show? We got Agrimonia. He says Happy West Day. It is Happy West Day. West will be with Brian on Without Parole in an hour and 45, I believe. BP8. Hello to you. See, I'm not doing all these usernames and that. Jay the Foviated Rendered Game Cat. Hello everyone. Hello to you. Hello. Salvador, good to see you here. How are we all doing? Metal Game Catside Fritz says, I can't think of a better name. You really know how to sell yourself, you marketing strategist. This is the irony of it all. And this has been what I've said for 20 years now, which is when it comes to me as a marketing strategist, I put so much thought and energy into other people and other organizations. Don't judge me on how I market myself. I am the worst at marketing myself. And to be honest, this might seem like a bit of a long shot, but I do genuinely feel it's the same way. Because when I talk about compassion-focused therapy, it's always about seeing yourself in the third person, because we're often beating ourselves up. And we often can give really good mental health advice to a friend, but when we're going through that same thing, we don't take our own advice. I kind of see that with a lot of things in life, just because you're in your own head looking out. And it's why teams are important. And it's why that, like, whenever you're working on something, maybe like a business proposal, you're working on a new website, you're working on maybe a piece of, art or anything, you might just want to ask a friend. Because I think the other part of it, and I talk about this a lot as well, is when you're the person doing something, you have your intention and you have the performance. So, like, if you're playing a musical instrument on stage and you're performing in front of people, let's say you make a mistake. In that moment, you're absolutely killing yourself because you're like, I made that mistake. Everyone noticed. Most people don't notice. The people in the audience see the output. They see the performance. They don't see the intention. So they don't see that disconnect. It's like, I think for a lot of artists, if you draw a picture, if I draw a picture, I can kind of see where maybe if I was drawing a circle, it's not quite complete or how I wanted it. But anyone else just sees it as the drawing at hand. And that's very much the same way with marketing. But I have been making a bit of time for myself lately. I have this week posted 2 YouTube shorts, vertical videos. And my goodness, that has been a wild ride. Seeing like what performs the same video on like TikTok versus Instagram versus YouTube is really wild. We're all chasing the algorithm. That's how it works. But yeah. Good evening to everyone. Oh, yeah, it's Chaos. Of course it's Chaos. B Green, hello, Chaos. How are we doing? Chrome has given me a question. Thank you very, very much. Is it a big deal, this Thanksgiving malarkey? I think it is. I think it's a pretty big deal in the US. The US, everyone does it, right? I mean, my American friends, tell me, is Thanksgiving a bigger deal in America than Christmas itself? And that was already a year ago. The fuck is the time going? I know. It's been wild. Oh, that's a good question for Merrick. I'll have to save that for later. Hopefully I don't miss it. He says, who's your favourite boss at Impact Reality and Flat VR Studios? I have to say it's probably Eric, but I guess, probably Eric. Invoices in the post, dude. Blowing up a cat's arse in Trombone Champ will never not be funny in VR. I don't know what you're talking about. We put a video about that earlier today with the Happy Birthday theme tune. Oh, I love this. Chrome Colossus has not done a question, but an answer. So a vegan lasagna is like a normal lasagna, but I make fake ricotta with tofu and other stuff. Fake mozzarella and cashews and other stuff. Cones out shockingly cheesy. Also fake meat in the sauce. Nice. Sounds good. I will never forget my friend Robert S. Pearson from PlayStation Access when I was hanging out with him a few years ago. Maybe it was more than that actually now. But he took me to his local Chinese that does vegan Chinese food. And we had vegan, like, sweet and sour chicken. And oh my God, it was tofu. I've never had tofu done that well before. It was, like, so tasty. It was incredible. Incredible. Thank you for the congratulations. Thank you for all the happy 1 years. I have a great company name for you, Myles. Look over there, Incorporated. It's very nice. Very, very, very nice. Can't wait for you to try Richie's with an actual plank. It's crazy how scary it makes it. Yeah, for those that don't know, earlier today I played Richie's Plank Experience. I didn't use a plank. I definitely need to use one. I'll be trying it at Christmas time. But it's just one of those things of like, I didn't have the ideal thing. But to be honest, even if I had a plank, I wouldn't be doing it on a live stream because it's dangerous. Like balancing on a plank, even if it's just a bit above the ground. You know, I've got a lot of stuff in my room and that. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to try it for the real deal. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. And I appreciate that, dude. You've always been a good champ of me. And you say you're kidding. I know you were kidding, but there's actually a lot of truth to it. There is a lot of truth to it. Canada does it, but it was a month ago. I didn't know Canada did it. You're still part of the Commonwealth. By the way, I apologise for that. Do you still have the Queen on your notes and stuff? I wonder when the Queen is leaving and we get the King on it. Okay, Christmas is bigger, but Thanksgiving is right behind it. Right behind it. Definitely not bigger than Christmas, okay. But often go to one family for Thanksgiving and the other for Christmas. That kind of works. You got your eyes on anything in Black Friday sales? Anything at all? The only thing I would say is PlayStation VR 2 is at like $300, €300, £300. If you have a PlayStation 5 and you've ever been curious about VR, there's never been a better time to get a headset. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. In terms of what else I'm looking at, this is a great segue here. Guys. Oh my God. No, that's not what I wanted. I didn't want that either. Oh my God. Where is the list of stuff? Oh, it's the checklist. Here we go. And we've got the store. Store. questforempathy.com. 30% off. I was organising it before the show. I was like, what should we do as the 30%? What should we do as a discount? And I've decided to go with 30% off. So yeah, 30% off. Just use the code BF for Black Friday, or best friend, Myles. And yeah, that'll take 30% off all the items that you put in your basket. So yeah, I haven't actually looked at the store for a while. I was looking at some items, but it's just been a matter of priorities. And at the end of the day, I want to invest my time in content and stuff. And the store is nice, and I definitely will add new things. But to be honest, I actually bought some new merch recently from the store. I brought 2 Quest for Empathy shirts, the white and the black, because I love them both. But I've worn them so much. They wore away. But yeah, 30% off, or you can use the pinned link in the chat as well. But BF Myles, have a look there, and there you go. Cool. Let's get some background music on. 1 second. Where are we? It's going to be loud. Oh, wow, it's not even coming out my earphones. There we go. Okay, Canadian Thanksgiving is just like the Harvest Festival. Cool. Understood. Emmanuel Bowles says, Happy Thanksgiving, Miles and Cats. Happy Thanksgiving to you all. Galinu. Do you know what? I always double guess what I'm about to say every time I'm about to say it. But I hope you're well as well. It puts the merch in the basket, or it gets the hose again. Yeah, that'd be a hell of a catchphrase. Cool. Keep the questions coming in, everyone. I've got a few here that we'll work through in a bit. But yeah, I've been doing vertical videos for YouTube Shorts. I had a really good one that was for Madison, and yeah, it was interesting what was working and what wasn't on certain platforms. But yeah. Man, this is chill. By the way, I have 3 guests planned for my show for the next 3 weeks. Do you want to know who they are? Actually, I'll save it. I've got some really. I've really got. Well, next Wednesday is going to be the International Day of Persons with Disability, which, by the way, I think when the UN comes up with names, I understand they go for simple stuff, but it feels like like we talk about branding. It seems like a really. Why don't you do International Day of Disability? You know, International Day of Persons with Disability. I guess it kind of works, but anyway. I've got an awesome person who works in the gaming space, Jarves, who actually is an advocate for accessibility in gaming. So she's going to be coming on to talk about all the great work that she does there. And we will no doubt be talking a bit about VR, because I think, especially when I think about our own games, when I look at requests from people, whether it's to do with control schemes or localization, you know, there is always more that can be done with accessibility. So I think that that's going to be a great conversation for next Wednesday. So really looking forward to that. Then, the Wednesday after, Some of you might know of a YouTube channel called Mystic Ryan Benacki. One of my favourite content creators on YouTube, to be honest. He is absolutely amazing, and he is actually a part of my weekly media diet. Every Friday morning I will watch Let's Talk PlayStation, where he gives the best summation of the PlayStation industry or company and all their games and hardware news. Massive fan of the guy, and it's been great to know him for a couple of years now. He's going to be coming on. He's going to be joining me not next Wednesday, because that's Jarv's, but the Wednesday after. So Ryan will be coming to that. So yeah, be sure to tune in for that. And then I've got another guest, but we're just finalising details. Twitch streamer who we're just finalising details. So it's one of those things of they're probably going to come on, but I just want to make sure it's all locked in before doing it. $5 more to add to my Amazon basket to get free delivery. What should you add? That's a good question, actually. It's a good question. I couldn't possibly say. Maybe I should sell some of my merch on Amazon, if that's even possible. Zero celebrates 38 months. Absolutely incredible. I've been a member. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. Right, let's go to your questions. Oh, add a Toblerone. I remember when we were talking about Toblerone a few weeks ago. It was the logos, wasn't it? We were talking about it with Damien. I was actually asking Damien today. I've actually got a meet with him after this show. What date he came on? And I was like, I think it was October. And he was like, I think it was September. It was October 1st. It's like, my goodness, the weeks are flying by. It's flown by so much that to the left of me, I've got a whiteboard with important dates and that, and it is for October. I haven't even... Oh, it is. Of course it's Kiro. Ignore me. Just a different spelling. See, this is the problem. It's just messing everything up with these new usernames and that. Thank you, Kiro. Really appreciate the support. All right, let's have a look at some of your questions. Hitting in with the hard question first. Callie says, do you enjoy this cold weather? Wouldn't say I enjoy it. I remember speaking with Brian Paul a while ago, because he was always just like, hate the hot weather, love the cold. And I'm like, no, I hate the cold. Warm weather's nice. But I've very quickly come to understand that actually, no, I prefer cold weather than hot. It's easier to warm up than it is to cool down. Cooling down is an absolute mission, especially in a country where we don't have air conditioning and stuff. So do I enjoy this cold weather? To be honest, it's not to do with the coldness at all. It's actually more to do with the sunlight, the lack of sunlight. So that's the bit I don't like. I'd like there to be a bit more sunlight. And I should definitely make the most of it. So, yeah. Toblerones either in airports or minibars. Is that right? Not anywhere else. Chrome Colossus says, in your experience with Flat to VR and Co, as well as your chats with other devs, what are challenges that aren't appreciated by most gamers who are out of the loop? That's a tough one. And the reason it's a tough one is I think, especially in the VR space, I think gamers are more attuned to game development than ever before, just because the connection between developers and gamers is so close. Developers are gamers. Developers use social media and they share news and they like to share experiences and things like that. So anything I say obviously is not an absolute, but I also want to caveat that I do think that actually a lot of gamers do think about these things, but perhaps don't think about it or at least know the tangibles as much as they do. Some of them are going to be things that I can't just mention because there are things that are like, I don't know, the way that stores work or QA works, you know, the way that trophies work, you know, in terms of submissions on PlayStation, for example. There's a lot of stuff like that, and to be honest, even if trophies was something I could talk about, I wouldn't say it's something that people don't appreciate, but it's definitely something that you learn sort of being on this side of things. So yeah, what would they appreciate more of if they're out of loop? I just think that, I mean, this is something that would count for me. So CD Projekt Red, who did Cyberpunk 2077, they announced an incredible game, got so much hype, and launch was an absolute disaster, right? And it's very easy to think, what the hell were they doing? Like, why did they show stuff years out that was never what ended up in the final build? And this is an example of, like, I kind of knew why, but like now being on the inside on much smaller projects, I understand how things can slip up. And it's the simple fact that, like, when you're years out from building a game, you have to show something, and so you do a vertical slice. You have to show the vision and then build towards it. Unless you're going to say, let's just do the marketing, you know, when the game is done. And I think that there's obviously more ability to do it with smaller games. There's definitely more ability to do it in the VR space, especially for PlayStation, where, you know, there's only like 2 or 3 launches a week. I think actually if you launched a really good game and came out of nowhere, you might struggle a bit, but I think also you would probably sell an okay amount. Probably not a huge amount, probably not a sustainable amount business-wise, but you would probably do all right. Whereas on other platforms, and I say that other platforms, obviously PlayStation as a whole is a massive platform with a lot of noise on there. But yeah, you have to do a run up, and like a game company that has always been excellent on it, and their behind the scenes videos have always been great, is like Naughty Dog. If you look at, I love their documentaries about The Last of Us and Part 2. When you look at like how they built the vertical slices and then did these like playable demos for certain award shows, and then, you know, they were still working on the game. It's really, really interesting. And then some people complain going, they showed this and this isn't exactly how it was. And it's like, yeah, things change over time. And so, yeah, I think the thing that most people probably don't appreciate enough, and it's just because they're not there in the trenches, is just how things change. And it's why I always say about the thing of, like, always assume good intent as a guiding principle. When games get delayed or something is launched and there's a glitch, it's 9 times out of 10 not because of malice or carelessness. It's normally because of some factor of prioritization where something else has had to be prioritized with limited resources and time, and that can be quite difficult. So hopefully that makes sense. Sorry, just adding a few more of these questions that are coming in. Thank you. Eric with the $5, thank you, dude, who says, hardest part of running a gaming company is putting up with cheeky social media director. How about that? Yeah, a lot of people wouldn't appreciate that, actually. A lot of people wouldn't appreciate that, Eric. It is really cool, and also, like, a big part of doing the social media stuff is reacting to stuff. So, like, I'll pull a bit behind the curtains here. A lot of it was I think it was discussed on Gamescast. So when RoboQuest VR came out, there was some, I'm going to say, discrepancies in pricing on different platforms or different regions. I can't remember exactly now because I've tried to scrub it from my memory. And so from the inside, it's very easy to be like, you know, this is a disaster, we need to fix this, and like, oh my god, everyone's going to hate us and stuff. And the reality is, firstly, most people haven't even noticed. And secondly, the way you respond is not lying about it. So you don't, like, ignore it that it doesn't exist. But you also don't go out there and just be like, sorry, we messed up. I mean, what good is that doing anyone? It makes us seem really defensive and, like, in despair. but also like that doesn't give any solution to the consumers and the community that we're trying to serve. So the best thing is to be like, there was a screw up, and this is what we're doing about it. And for us, it was just like there was a mess up in the pricing. We're fixing it. We don't know when the fix is going to come in, but this lower price that you can get the game as, take advantage of it while you still can. And that's it. And yeah, it's unfortunate for us, but like own it and sort of roll with it. And that kind of stuff I think is pretty it's pretty cool with what we do. Like it's been dynamic. It's social media is not just about like content, it's about messaging. And when you do social media, everything you do is seen by the world. Like everything can be scrutinized. And so you've got to be really, really careful with everything that you do. Okay, lots of questions from Callie. Adding them here. Thank you. Let's have a look here. By the way, I got lit up on Reddit last night on the PSVR subreddit. You want to hear this story? I'll only tell it if you want to hear it. But yeah, I made a mistake. And that was the problem with posting a Reddit post at 2 in the morning when you're absolutely exhausted and probably not on your A game. Every time that you say that, it makes me wonder if you're from the same area as Carl Pilkington. Are you? And do you know him? Don't know him. Not from the same area. I think he was from Manchester. That. I don't know. I don't know what the that is. Do you mean like saying If you could get rid of one holiday, what one would it be and why? To be honest, I've got rid of most of the holidays. The last year I've worked through all the UK holidays. And then ironically, I'm working the American holiday tomorrow because I'm not American, so I need to sort that out. So yeah, I mean, what holiday would I get rid of? I don't know. I think someone said Boxing Day in the chat. I don't know, Boxing Day's nice. Holidays are good. How did I miss a Reddit post? Did you not see it? It was very late last night. Chrome says, I felt bad for getting it at unintended discount, but then overpaid for pools, so it evens out sort of. Yeah, exactly. It's all paying into the pool. All paying into the pool. Oh, that's a great question. Are you doing a Christmas quiz this year? Do you guys want me to do an end of year like Christmas quiz? That would mean actually the third guest I'm having on, because we were talking about what topics. Well, oh my goodness. So we got the 24th. So we could do a Christmas Eve one. Okay, we could do one on Christmas Eve maybe. But then we've got New Year's Eve. Am I going to do a show on New Year's Eve? I don't see why not. Yeah. And that. Sorry, and that. Gotcha. Yeah. It's a Britishism. And I'll be taking some breaks. I've got some breaks planned. I'm trying to get Eric to come with me to Romania. Bucharest. He's got to do it. He didn't Reddit. I like what he did there. Yeah, okay, so what happened on Reddit? So last night I saw more tweets about all these questionable PSVR 2 titles coming out. And I did a tweet about it with some of them, but then I actually went in and I found like 13 titles. So I put 12 of them onto a grid like this. These are all announced PSVR 2 games coming out. Eric. Eric, which of these do you think we should do? And Romania, let's go, yeah. I'm surprised Plank VR Edgewalk Simulator didn't come out. I thought they were going to do it. So all these games are announced on coming out on PSVR 2, and I've looked at all these developers, and I'm 90% sure they're all shovelware. So I always write notes on my notebook on my computer about like VR culture, like tips for the industry and things like that, and I had a lot of notes regarding shovelware, because I have a mixed, like I have a mixed feeling about it. Let me put myself here. Hello, I'll be next to these. I have a bit of a mixed feeling when it comes to shovelware, and it's mixed in this sense, which is, it's not just, I don't like throwing the word shovelware around, because some of these games may very well be like indie developers trying to do their first game, and I think that it's important that people, and yes, we should definitely do a fishing game. So I think that people, it's should have the chance to create a game and put it out there, and even if it's not great, make a bit of money back, and then hopefully go on and make a second game that's even better. Like, that's important. People should have the chance to do that. What I have an issue with is when games are cynically created to undercut IPs they either don't own or associate themselves with SEO or other elements of gaming that are just going to scoop up people that are casually browsing the store page. Now, the criticism I get when I talk about this is, but you're playing them, you're giving them coverage, you're the reason they keep making shovelware. And I just simply don't accept that. Because Flight Simulator 2025 VR had its name changed to Flight Delivery Simulator VR. And Duck Hunt VR had its name changed to Duck Shooter VR. But they changed the name from a less IP controversial name once they've probably done the damage. Like, be on the store for 48 hours with that name, where you're going to absorb most of the money, and then change it. And the majority of the sales that are made on these games, Grand Rush VR was on the top 10 charts. The Flight Simulator delivery game was on the top 10 charts for PSVR 2. This is not because people like me are talking about these games or covering them. I think us talking about them and covering them is actually going to make people aware I should not buy this game. Like, that is just the reality. And I think it is important to call these out. All these games, any of these games that come out, I will be playing, and I will be calling out the bullshit, and I think it's important. So anyway, what does this have to do with Reddit? So I had a client call at 1 o'clock this morning, and after the call, I was looking through my notes. I saw all this stuff. I made this graphic, and I was going to post it on Reddit, but I was so tired. I wrote like a massive, like basically a blog post with my thoughts, and it was basically saying, I'm noticing an increase in shovelware on PSVR 2. This is the signs of what shovelware is. It's like reusing assets, SEO, questionable studio names and stuff like that. But here is the tough thing about it, is we need a safe space for indie developers to have their first shots at making games and stuff like that. So I do the post, and it's not looking great. And so I use ChatGPT, but I use ChatGPT as a tool to tweak things, run things round. And I went through segment by segment, just trying to curtail stuff. And I put it all together. And then I was like, this looks like a massive wall of text. And so I then started doing these headers in between. So I posted it on Reddit, and it was just basically like, what's going on with the PSVR 2 store? And then I go to bed, and I'm like 2:30, 3 o'clock this morning. And I get in bed, and I'm on Reddit, and I'm looking at it, and there's like a lot of comments. I'm like, oh great, it's causing a conversation. And there was some great conversation there about some people saying, the only reason these get bought is because people like you keep covering and buying them. Again, disagree with it, but I appreciate that perspective. Other people are saying how, it's important that we allow indies to create their games, but yes, how do we moderate it? Discussions around passing QA seems to be just from a technical perspective. It's not about the game itself. And PlayStation makes 30% on all these games that sell. But the majority of the comments were people saying, this is the worst Reddit post I've ever seen. Was this done with ChatGPT? Ironic as someone complaining about AI slop whilst posting AI slop. People saying I've seen a 12-year-old write a better blog. But what I found really weird about the Reddit post was I'm like Reddit I've always known of and that, but I've only really got stuck in the last half year with it as a poster. I've long been a commenter. Is on Reddit you can do you can spend currency to like people's comments on Reddit, right? Like to say thank you. I rarely see that done on PSVR on the PSVR subreddit with, I think of Cussman and people that do these really great reviews and that. Never see them get that kind of love. All the people slagging off the post. And to be fair, they were right, like in terms of like, I looked at it and went straight away of like, yeah, I completely botched this. Like I've literally, even though I've gone section by section and done loads of rewrites and I spent like 30 minutes writing on it, in the end it turned out to be like, it was just a clunky and a lot of AI isms. I remove a lot that I know are the sort of the giveaways and that, and also I just lost my complete tone of voice and it was rubbish. So but most of the people slagging it off were getting the top credit stuff, and I was like, what? Why are they getting paid credits? So it was really weird. It looked like the conversation, everyone was getting downvoted having a real conversation, whereas all the people slagging off my post, and again, they're quite within their right to do it, did it. So anyway, so I was like thinking, well, what's the best way? I'm going to delete it, but don't the comments stay? So I deleted the post, and it basically says the post is deleted by the poster. It doesn't say who the poster is, but all the comments stay there. And I'm like, oh my God, this is going to probably make it a lot worse. Woke up this morning, hardly anyone else posted on and stuff like that. It's sort of there and gone. But I was just like, wow. And I do want to post about it again and like, okay, I'm just going to write it my way. I'm not going to, think about it too much, and definitely not do it at 2-3 in the morning. But I do think this is an important conversation, and I couldn't help but get a little bit conspiratorial in my tired head and be like, maybe all these people slagging off the post were actually people that work for these studios that don't want to be sussed out. Who knows? Eric says we need better curation. At least Steam charges $100 to put a game up. I did not know that. Currently you can put any game on the store for almost nothing and minimal QA and curation. That is I never knew that about Steam. I always a lot of people were saying on the Reddit post about like Nintendo. The Nintendo store is really bad, which surprised me. It surprised me when I first heard it, because I was like, well, Nintendo is like prestigious and they're always about quality. But then I remember a lot of these games that you're seeing on the screen right now, there are often flat screen versions that were released on the Nintendo store for the Switch. So there is a lot of that goes on. Yeah. I don't even use or know anything about ChatGPT, but am constantly accused of using it by Reddit trolls. It's always insincere. Oh, okay, interesting. Okay. Maybe it's a common thing. Yeah, it costs nothing to put a game on PlayStation. Steam take a cut, right? Yeah. All the platforms take a cut on sales. I was just wondering because Steam obviously charges you up front as well. But that is a good quality control barrier because it stops like people just doing it on quantity. Yeah. I'm having a look on the Reddit. Yeah, here we go. So like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to show this. Let's have a look here. Cool. So, awesome. So this was the post. This was the post I deleted. Sorry, the post was deleted by the person. But this is great. This is an issue. There's no shortage of these cheap, scrappy AI games. They were saying there were 8,500 indie games released on Steam in 2024. That's a 23, 24 games every day. How do you tell what shovelware is? One red flag, $10 or less for a new release, impulse buy territory. Anyway, there's this Reddit. I always check here for new releases and warnings like this. And make sure you're not banning or deleting legitimate, low-budget, small developers from having a chance of getting their game out there. Some are obviously, of course, but others, I don't know. Yeah, that is it. True, but when I see a $6.99 price tag for a new release, I look for review impressions first. Yeah, look, can you write this in human first, please? The irony of criticizing an abundance of AI-generated content on the store while using AI to generate your complaints. There was a lot of that. So yeah, I'll return to this at a later time. But yeah. $15 names in the title is a giveaway. It's shovelware. I mean, to be honest, let's have a look at this now. I mean, the Brain Rot game. Brain Rot Tung Sahur is CGI Labs, and they are the ones that did the Abyss game. Here we go. But a lot of them have sites like this. Our culture. They always do this stuff about culture. Here are the games. Publish with us. Like, I don't know if this is real. Like, a lot of these sites have, like, AI. PlayStation. Yeah, Stairwell, the horror. They did this. Stairwell Horror. They also did The Abyss, which was Paul's VR. So Stairwell Horror. Oh, it seems they've removed that, though. Yeah. Anyway. Idea for an inane April 1st VR. Japanese toilet VR. To be honest, releasing a game on April Fools is not a bad idea. Still hoping, Kisnell says, Epic will support VR-only games soon, since I like their pro developer terms. Yeah, they got some good stuff there. Yeah, and Eric was saying earlier that all the platforms take a platform fee, but Steam charges a separate fee just to post a game. Yeah, it's tough. All right, guys, let me just go through some more of these questions. Future Abe says, do you have an opinion on what the frontier of gaming means? Is it fully VR or is it going back to retro? The frontier of gaming. I mean, I think that as gaming becomes more immersive, less cumbersome, it's more accessible. I think that VR gaming is going to become more and more mainstream. It's just going to take time. And I think that with the economy at the moment, that's going to make it difficult. But yeah, I think AR and VR are just going to kind of merge together. But yeah. Are you going to do a review of 2025 in the final week of the year, or both? Oh, you're talking about as well as the quiz. I'll do the quiz. I probably will do the inner vlog shell video just because I like it, and also it's a much nicer, concise way of doing it. I think this time my video gets to be a bit longer as well because YouTube Shorts have increased the duration, which is good. Do you think Capcom's model of demos is something Flat to VR could do? It is actually, I believe it's something we're talking about internally. I know a lot of VR developers are talking about it. Of Lies and Rain did a demo. I think their demo was too long. It was an hour. And you might go, well, that's good. It's a lot of content. I honestly think demos should just be set up so people get an instant sense of okay, this is what you're doing in it. Like, I remember as a kid when I was playing PlayStation demo discs you got on magazines every month. There was like a rugby game. And it was like you played one half of a match, so you never played a full match. Me and my brother loved playing the same half again and again. But it was never the same as, like, you know, playing the game fully. I think Paul's VR probably did it well, because the demo is just the first area. And if you like it, you might be like, okay, we'll go on to the next one. I think RoboQuest could probably benefit from a demo, which could be the tutorial. I think that RoboQuest VR, the demo could be the tutorial. Because for VR especially, all people want is to find out, have they got VR legs for it? Is it going to work for them? And yeah, or it could be an extended tutorial or something like that. And I don't think there's any shame. People might go, oh, just the tutorial for a demo, that seems completely pointless. Well, it's better than nothing. Resident Evil, the kitchen demo was what? A minute, 2 minutes long? And it was cool. It was really cool. So, yeah. I'm definitely up for demos, but from development, it can probably be quite difficult. Yeah, many think people liked it, but they played enough in the demo and moved on. Yeah, that's exactly it. I thought the demo was too generous, and I hate to say that. I think demos should just be super small, super tight, and it's to do one of two things, or it's to do two things actually. It's to confirm that their VR tolerance matches the game, as in they feel good playing this, and secondly, they have an understanding of what the game offers beyond that demo. As long as Sony just gets a max 1 hour refund policy, demos aren't needed in my opinion. That's true as well. That's true. And I do think the refund policy needs to be improved. I actually think people would spend more money on games. Because if you know that you can refund stuff if it's not great, it also means shovelware dies out. Or at least gets significantly reduced. And it also means people are more willing to spend money because they know if they buy a game and it's not great and they get a refund, not always, but I think a lot of people will then reinvest that into a game they want to play. Voting with your wallet. Cool. Wow, everyone. Well, this is it? Yeah, is there no demos on Steam? Well, there you go. That'll be it. So yeah, I do think the refund policy is the best, and it sort of helps on all fronts there. I think it'd be really, really good. Sweet. Pre-release demos. That's right. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Pre-release demos. I would argue, I don't know how you feel about this, guys. Obviously, I would have to look at the data behind it. But let's just talk about PSVR 2, where it hasn't been done a lot for PSVR 2 games. I would argue, I don't think demos should happen before launch. I often talk about in marketing that you don't want to like have a great first impression on someone. And obviously, there are times where you're trying to drive hype and wish lists, but you don't want to like excite someone about something and then like they have to then wait. Pre-order maybe if there's a trailer, but if they're getting in the VR headset to demo your game and they're loving it, they should be like, I want to play it now. So my gut feeling is when it comes to VR demos, I think demos should not be a pre-launch thing. If you do demos, I think they should be at launch. So unless you're trying to test something, but then that would be kind of like a closed beta or early access to test like multiplayer. Like of Lies and Rain, play the demo, you get to that hour and you're like, this is great. Cool, I can play the rest of it now. You know what I mean? Like, do you want to buy the... Yeah, I want to carry on with this. stepping away and then having to go back to it. We've all done it with games that we've actually bought. We stepped away from. Arcane Age, I need to go back to. So yeah, I do think I do think demos are important in that sense. James asks, which, if any, PSVR 1 games do you still play? It feels hit and miss for me these days. For example, Squadrons is still great, but played Space Junkies last night and it's horribly broken. Well, a couple of weeks ago, I played Super Hot again. And I was just curious. I was just doing it to clean up a few trophies. But I was curious, like, Super Hot, I've always thought it's like one of the most amazing VR games and experiences ever. But is that just with a bit of nostalgia? Because people often go, well, yeah, but it was a time and place. Games have moved on. I went back to it. Super Hot still holds up, man. It was still really fun to play on PSVR. So yeah, I think Super Hot. Trying to think what other games. I mean, Astrobot Rescue Mission is still bloody brilliant. So yeah. Wipeout, yeah, Wipeout's great. Small trial demo charge, like $1 or something, $2. I don't think so. I don't think so. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Oh my goodness, what would your word of the year be? Oh, we got to wrap things up, but I appreciate the questions. You guys do make me laugh with so many out of left field questions. Listen, everyone, I want to say a massive thank you to everyone for tuning in. Guys, I've been trying to look up what 6-7 is about. There's a Wikipedia page about it, which has been pretty good. And I think with demos, you should carry on with you should be able to carry on with your progress for sure, not restart. Yeah. Cool. Well, I want to say a massive thank you to everyone for joining me for this very chilled Myles Dyer live at the end of the month. As I said, I'm really feeling positive going into December. A lot of the madness of the last 2 months has withered away, which means I have a bit more time to rest, but also think. I've started doing vertical videos every day. I'm probably going to edit another one tonight. I actually edited one for one of our accounts, V-Racer Hoverbike. We've got an announcement of a new... It's not a new mode, but it's a new something. There's basically going to be a new type of weekly challenge on for people to play every week, which I'm really excited about. So I was just clipping some footage of me playing that mode for it. So that'll be going out on Friday. Very, very excited about it. Comic Book Guy, thank you very, very much for the... Whoa. Where's the applause? 1 month of membership, thank you. Do you watch any YouTubers that go for platinums? Yes. I mean, I haven't for a while, but there's Brian who does... is it just trophies, PlayStation... Oh, man, what are the channels called? I think it is, yeah, PS5 trophies is great. I think Brian runs that. Really cool guy. And then there's, like, Bad Driver, who does, like, easy platinums, talks often about the shovelware and that. So that's definitely there. And then there's another channel as well that's, like... It's got, like, a Z in the name, hasn't it? Or something? I can't think. Or is it an X? I can't remember. I'd have to look it up. It's not coming up in the search at the moment, but yeah, I'd have to look it up. But yeah, I mean, PS5 trophies, as the name suggests, is a really good one. Always does really good guides. The problem with trophies for VR is it's a lot harder to do guides because if you're doing a flat screen game, you can have a second screen next to you, look at it, play the game. Whereas in VR, keep looking up. So if it's contextual stuff, it can be there as well. All right. Just got here, but this was interesting. Left in without parole Discord. Brian said you looked into it, but ran out of time. What was this? Let's have a look. Was there anything in the flat version of RoboQuest? Oh, yes. Actually, at the beginning of that episode of Friday's show, when we go live, you hear Brian going, "We're live, Myles, we're live," and you hear me going, "I'm just messaging Jasmine." Jasmine's our CEO. So I was just DMing Jasmine, asking her that question. And because we talked a lot about RoboQuest, we then didn't go over it. So I'm actually going to pull up Jasmine's DM because she was actually... I felt bad that I didn't actually have a time to go over it. Let's have a look here. So let me just read your comment again. So you said, was there anything in the flat version of RoboQuest that you guys were not able to bring to the VR version for some reason? Jasmine's answer was like, no, we brought everything, lol. But then you said, if not, what was the most challenging thing for the team to bring over? And it's like the opposite answer. Jasmine goes, most challenging, I don't know, all of it. But I guess the fact that it's fast-paced, how do we translate all the mechanics and VRify it without breaking the game balance? Big example is reloading. Reloading is a core VR mechanic, but it slows it down, so we ended up giving options. Another one is the map and all of your UI. How do we quickly give the players a non-intrusive way of getting all the info they need? Even just knowing when your abilities are ready to use was hard, but making your wrists and your hands glow was the most creative way to do that. And then where do the abilities come out of? We had to build that little machine projectile that comes out of the robot's arm for a lot of them, because otherwise having the abilities come out of nowhere looked weird and broke immersion. It's basically the entire game was hard, which I love. I love that answer. So yeah, hopefully that was good. Why the obsession with platinums? I don't get it. I can talk about it another time. Maybe we talk about it. I've actually done a presentation internally about trophies. The first slide though is how do you get that feeling of completing a game in a digital world? And my point is that once upon a time you'd complete a game and you'd put it back on the shelf, whereas now a lot of us don't have it. So yeah, and no worries at all. I'm really glad you asked on this because especially with Jasmine giving a wonderful answer, it was a shame that I didn't get to go back on that. So yeah, thank you for bringing it up. Cool, everyone, I want to say a massive thank you. We're going to wrap it up there, so take good care of yourselves. Next week we've got Giles who's coming on, who's going to be talking about accessibility in gaming. Really excited for that. The week after we've got Ryan Mystic. Very excited to have Ryan join us. That'll be really good. Hopefully get a lot of people tuning in. And also, Eric just said, we do not port games to VR. Porting is lazy. We make flat games feel like real VR games, which I love as well. Absolutely. Cool. That's it, everyone. I think that's it. Was there anything else I wanted to talk about? Just go check out my YouTube shorts. 2 YouTube shorts. Give them a like. And never apologise. There isn't one for December. Well, the last one for December will be the 31st. Yeah, the 31st. 31st. We'll be doing one on the 31st. You good? And you can ask as many questions as you want anytime. There's no cap on questions. I'd rather have too many questions than not enough. So yeah, appreciate you all, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Tomorrow I'm live streaming Shaven Stuff, and then on Friday I'm live streaming the Gundam VR game or experience, which I'm excited for. So yeah, but today I did Richie's Plank experience. Don't know why I went to Frankie, but yeah. Thank you, Eric. And Eric, it was great having you on last week. If you haven't seen last week's show, it was a really good one. Had Eric come on, we talked about what it is to release a VR game. It was really good. So check that out. Take good care of yourselves, everyone. And as always, It's time for your final thoughts. Love, respect, empathy, and adios. Till next time. Bye-bye.
Thought I saw you on the road. I was chasing sunsets all alone. The darkness faded, painting goodbye big sky. Far away but dreaming of your ocean eyes. Thought I saw you on the road. I was chasing sunsets all alone. The darkness faded, painting goodbye big sky. I'm far away but dreaming of your ocean eyes. Thought I saw you on the road. I was chasing sunsets all alone. The darkness faded, painting goodbye big sky. Far away but dreaming of your ocean eyes.
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving to all my American brothers and sisters out there, and to everyone else, just have a wonderful weekend. Peace out.